Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Path to Real English. I'm so happy you're here with us today. If you're learning English and sometimes understand a question but don't know how to answer naturally, this episode is for you.
Hey everyone! It's great to be back. And yes, that situation is so common. You hear someone ask you a simple question in English, and suddenly your brain goes, wait, what do I say?
Exactly. And sometimes you actually know the English. You understand every word. But when it's your turn to answer, nothing comes out.
I've definitely had that experience. Someone asks, how's it going? And you start thinking, do they really want to know everything that's happening in my life?
Right. And usually, no. They're just being friendly.
So today we're going to talk about the English questions you hear all the time in everyday conversations, and more importantly, how to answer them naturally.
We'll look at questions like, how are you? What have you been up to? What do you do? Where are you from? What are you doing this weekend? And many more.
And we'll show you different answers depending on the situation. You might answer differently when you're talking to a close friend, a coworker, or someone you've just met.
By the end of this episode, you'll have practical answers that you can actually use in real conversations. You won't need to memorize long, complicated sentences.
And here's our question for you. What's one English question that always makes you stop and think before you answer?
Write that question in the comments. Maybe it's, what do you do? Maybe it's, how's it going? Tell us which question is difficult for you.
And if you enjoy learning English through natural conversations, don't forget to like this episode and subscribe to Path to Real English.
Grab a cup of coffee, get comfortable, and let's start with the questions you hear again and again.
Let's do it.
Let's start with one of the most common questions in English. How are you?
Easy, right? But here's the interesting part. How are you doesn't always mean someone wants a detailed report about your health, your work, your family, and everything else.
Exactly. In many everyday situations, how are you is simply a friendly greeting.
So you don't always need to say, well, I've been feeling a little tired because I didn't sleep well last night, and then I had a difficult morning.
You can, of course, if you're talking to a close friend, but in a quick conversation, something simple sounds more natural.
For example, I'm good, thanks. How about you?
Or, I'm doing pretty well. How are you?
Or casually, good, you?
Here's a useful formula you can remember. Short answer plus return question.
So, I'm good. How about you? That's it.
Let's try another one. How's it going?
This is very common in casual English. You can answer, it's going well. But in everyday conversation, people often say, pretty good, not bad, it's going great, or simply, good. How about you?
And how's it going doesn't mean you need to explain exactly how your day is going.
Right. Imagine you're walking into a coffee shop and you see someone you know.
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good. How about you?
Not bad.
That's a complete conversation.
Now, let's talk about another question that can be confusing. What do you do?
This usually means, what's your job? Or what kind of work do you do?
So if someone asks, what do you do? You could say, I'm a teacher. I work in marketing. I'm a student. Or I work for a small company.
You don't have to give your entire career history.
Exactly. Keep it simple.
And sometimes you can add one extra detail to keep the conversation going.
For example, I'm a graphic designer. I work for a small company.
Then the other person might ask, oh, really? What kind of designs do you make?
And now you've got a conversation.
Here's another common question. Where are you from?
You can answer directly. I'm from USA. Or, I'm originally from Afghanistan, but I live in another city now.
Notice the phrase originally from. It's useful when you've moved somewhere.
You can also ask the question back. I'm from USA. How about you? Let's practice. Imagine I ask you, where are you from?
I'm from USA. How about you?
Nice. And now imagine I ask, what do you do?
I'm a student. What about you?
Great. You're not only answering, you're keeping the conversation alive. That's an important skill. A natural conversation isn't just about answering questions. It's about giving the other person something to respond to.
Exactly. If someone asks, "What do you do?" and you only say, "Teacher," the conversation can stop.
But if you say, I'm a teacher, I teach English to teenagers, you've given them more information.
And they can ask another question.
Now let's talk about negative answers. Sometimes you're not doing great.
You don't have to say, "I'm fantastic," when you're actually having a terrible day.
You can say, I'm a little tired today. Or, I've had a long day. Or, I'm not doing too bad.
That's much more natural than saying, "I am bad."
Yes, I'm bad can sound like you're describing your character or behavior, not simply saying you're having a difficult day.
Try this one. Someone asks, how are you?
I'm a little tired, but I'm okay.
Perfect. Now, your turn. Answer these questions out loud. How are you? What do you do? Where are you from? Don't just think about your answers. Say them out loud. Even if you're alone, speak.
And here's a challenge. Pick one of those questions and write your natural answer in the comments.
Great. So remember, short answer, natural detail, and return the question when appropriate. That's the foundation. Now let's move to questions that are a little more conversational.
Now that we've covered basic questions, let's make things more interesting. In real conversations, people often ask questions about what you've been doing recently.
One of my favorites is, what have you been up to?
This question can sound strange if you translate it word for word, but what have you been up to simply means, what have you been doing recently?
And it's usually casual.
You could say, not much, I've just been working.
Or, I've been pretty busy lately.
Or, I've been studying a lot. Here's a natural conversation. Hey, what have you been up to?
Not much. I've just been working and trying to get more sleep.
That sounds familiar.
Very familiar.
Another common question is, what are you doing these days? Again, this asks about your current life or activities.
You might say, I'm taking an English course these days.
Or, I'm looking for a new job.
Or, I've been learning how to cook.
Notice something important. You don't always need to answer with only one sentence.
Right. If you want the conversation to continue, add a small detail. For example, instead of saying, I'm learning English, say, I'm learning English these days because I want to feel more confident when I speak.
Now the other person has something to ask about.
They might say, how long have you been learning?
Exactly. Here's another question you'll hear all the time. What are you up to this weekend?
This means, what are you planning to do this weekend?
You can say, I'm meeting some friends.
I'm probably going to stay home.
I'm not sure yet.
Or, I've got a few things to do.
That last one is very natural.
Let's compare formal and informal English for a moment.
Good idea. In a casual conversation with a friend, you might say, what are you up to this weekend?
In a more formal situation, you might ask, do you have any plans for the weekend?
Both are correct. The difference is the situation.
And you don't need to sound extremely formal all the time.
Exactly. If your friend says, what are you up to this weekend? And you answer, what are your intended activities during the weekend period?
Please don't do that.
Unless you're writing a very strange official report.
Natural English depends on context.
Here's another question. Have you been busy lately?
A natural answer could be, Yeah, I've been really busy.
Or a little. I've had a lot of work.
Or if you're not busy, not really. Things have been pretty quiet.
Notice that English speakers often soften answers with words like pretty, a little, kind of, and not really.
These small words can make your English sound more conversational.
Let's do a quick practice activity.
I'll ask you a question and you answer.
What have you been up to lately?
Your answer could be, I've been studying English and working on my speaking.
Next, what are you doing this weekend?
I'm probably going to relax at home.
Next, have you been busy lately?
Yeah, pretty busy. I've had a lot of work.
Great.
Here's a simple 3-step tip. First, answer the question directly. Second, add one small detail. Third, give the other person a chance to continue.
For example, I've been studying English lately. I'm trying to improve my speaking. What about you?
That's a great natural answer.
Now we want you to practice. Write one answer to "What have you been up to lately?" in the comments.
Don't worry about making it perfect. Write the answer you would actually say.
So the key point is simple. Everyday questions often invite you to share a little about your current life. Give a short answer, add a detail, and keep the conversation moving. Now, let's look at questions that appear when a conversation is already moving. These questions are especially useful because they help you talk longer without feeling stuck. One very common question is, what do you think?
This one is simple, but your answer can be very short or very detailed.
For example, someone says, I think this movie is really good. What do you think?
You could say, yeah, I agree. I really liked it.
Or, I'm not sure. It was okay, but I didn't love it.
That's natural because you're giving your opinion.
Another question is, how was your weekend?
You could say, it was great. I went out with some friends.
Or, it was pretty quiet. I mostly stayed home.
And here's a useful trick. Don't feel like you need to tell the entire story.
Exactly. Give the main idea first.
It was great. I went hiking.
Then, if they seem interested, you can explain more.
Another common question is, have you ever?
For example, have you ever been to another country?
You can say, yes, I have.
But a more conversational answer is, yeah, I have. I went to Turkey a few years ago.
Or, no, I haven't, but I'd love to.
That second answer is especially useful because it gives the conversation somewhere to go.
Let's talk about politeness and tone. Sometimes the words are correct, but the tone makes the sentence sound strange.
That's true. Take the question, what do you want?
With a close friend, it might be completely normal.
But with someone you don't know well, it can sound direct.
You might say, what would you like? Or, can I help you with something?
Context matters.
Another example is, why are you here?
Depending on your tone, that could sound curious or suspicious.
If you're welcoming someone, what brings you here can sound friendlier.
That's a useful expression. What brings you here?
For example, at a conference, you might meet someone and ask, so, what brings you here?
They might answer, I'm here for a business conference.
Now, let's practice some real situations.
Situation 1. You meet a coworker on Monday.
How was your weekend?
It was pretty good. I relaxed at home and watched a couple of movies.
Great.
Situation 2. You're meeting someone new at a social event.
What do you do?
I work in IT. What about you?
Excellent.
Situation 3. Someone asks about your plans.
What are you up to tonight?
I'm just staying home. I need some rest.
Very natural.
Here's another tip. Use contractions when speaking naturally.
Instead of, I am going to stay home, say, I'm going to stay home.
Instead of, I have been very busy,
say, I've been really busy.
Instead of I do not know, say I don't know.
These small changes make your speech flow more naturally.
And don't forget about intonation. If someone asks, really? Your voice can show curiosity.
If you say, really, with a flat voice, it may sound uninterested.
But really? With a little energy? Sounds like you're interested in what they said.
So English isn't only about grammar. It's also about how you say things.
Let's do mini practice. I'll ask a question and you answer out loud.
How was your day?
Your answer: it was pretty good. I got a lot of work done.
What do you think about learning English through podcasts?
I think it's really useful because I can practice listening and speaking.
Have you ever spoken English with a stranger?
Yes, I have. I was nervous at first, but it got easier.
Great.
Now say your own answer. Don't copy us. Make it personal.
And say it out loud. Speaking is a physical skill. Your mouth needs practice, not just your brain.
Exactly.
Before we finish this section, remember 3 things. First, give the main answer. Second, add a small detail. Third, use your tone and follow-up questions to keep the conversation natural. If you practice those 3 things, everyday conversations will start feeling much easier.
Okay, let's talk about mistakes. And trust me, we've all made them.
Oh, definitely. Sometimes the funniest mistakes happen when you're trying very hard to sound correct.
One common mistake is answering "How are you?" with "I am fine, thank you," and "you." That's grammatically correct, but in casual conversation, it can sound a little formal or textbook-like. A more natural answer is, "I'm good, thanks. How about you?"
Or pretty good. You?
Mistake number 2, giving too much information.
Someone asks, how was your weekend?
And you start with Friday morning at 7:15, then explain breakfast, traffic, your neighbor's dog.
And 20 minutes later, you're still talking about Saturday afternoon.
It's not wrong, but it may not fit the conversation.
Start short. If the person wants more, they'll ask.
Mistake number 3 is giving one-word answers all the time.
Good.
Fine.
Yes.
No.
These answers are grammatically fine, but they can make conversation difficult.
Try adding just a little more.
Instead of good, say, pretty good. I had a relaxing weekend.
Instead of yes, say, yeah, I have. I went there last year.
Mistake number 4 is translating directly from your first language.
For example, learners sometimes create sentences that are technically understandable, but don't sound natural in English.
The solution isn't to translate every sentence word for word.
Learn common phrases as complete chunks.
How's it going? Not bad. What have you been up to? I've been pretty busy.
These chunks are easier to remember and use.
Here's a funny example. Imagine someone asks, what are you up to?
And you answer, I am currently occupying myself with the activity of studying.
Very impressive.
Very unnatural.
Just say, I'm studying.
Exactly.
Let's practice each mistake. Someone asks, how are you?
Don't feel like you need a long speech. Try, I'm good, thanks. How about you? Someone asks, what have you been up to? Give a simple answer. I've been pretty busy with work. Someone asks, how was your weekend? Try, it was great. I went out with some friends. And remember, making mistakes doesn't mean your English is bad.
Exactly. Mistakes are part of becoming fluent.
The goal isn't perfect English. The goal is communication.
If you make a mistake and keep talking, that's progress. So don't be afraid of mistakes. Learn from them, practice again, and keep speaking.
Now it's time for interactive practice. I'm going to give you a situation and two possible answers. Choose the one that sounds more natural.
Situation 1. Someone asks, "How are you?"
A. I am fine, thank you. And you?
B. I'm pretty good. How about you?
Both can be correct, but in a casual conversation, B usually sounds more natural.
Situation 2. Someone asks, what have you been up to?
A. I have been engaged in numerous activities.
B. I've been pretty busy with work.
B is much more natural for everyday conversation.
Situation 3. Someone asks, what are you doing this weekend?
A. I'm probably going to hang out with some friends.
B. My intended weekend activities consist of social interaction.
Please choose A.
Definitely A. Situation 4. Someone asks, how was your day?
A. Good.
B. Pretty good. I got a lot done.
B gives the other person something to respond to.
Now let's make it harder. Try answering these questions yourself before we give you an example.
What do you do?
Your answer could be, I'm a student. I'm studying computer science.
What are you up to this weekend?
I'm not sure yet. I might meet some friends.
Have you been busy lately?
Yeah, pretty busy. I've had a lot going on.
Now create your own answer. Choose one question from this episode and answer it with your real information.
Say it out loud 2 or 3 times.
Then try saying it faster and more naturally.
And finally, imagine you're talking to a real person.
Remember, your goal isn't to produce the perfect sentence. Your goal is to have a real conversation. That's what natural English is all about.
Conclusion and wrap up. Wow, we've covered a lot today. We started with simple questions like, how are you and where are you from?
Then we moved into questions about your current life, like what have you been up to and what are you doing this weekend?
And finally, we looked at questions that help conversations continue, like, what do you think? How was your weekend? And have you ever?
So let's remember our 3 big ideas.
First, answer naturally and don't overcomplicate simple questions.
Second, add a small detail when you want the conversation to continue.
And third, remember that natural English is more than grammar. Tone, contractions, common phrases, and context all matter.
And most importantly, practice speaking out loud.
You can listen to this episode 10 times, but if you never speak, your speaking won't improve as quickly as it could.
So here's your challenge. Today, answer these 3 questions out loud. How are you? What have you been up to lately? And what are you doing this weekend?
And make your answers personal. Don't copy a textbook answer. Talk about your real life.
Then tell us in the comments, which question is easiest for you and which one is hardest?
We'd love to hear your answers.
And if this episode helped you, please like the video, share it with another English learner, and subscribe to Path to Real English.
Every time you practice, you're getting a little closer to speaking English naturally and confidently.
Don't wait until your English is perfect before you start speaking.
Start now. Make mistakes. Try again. Keep going.
And remember, real English isn't about sounding perfect. It's about connecting with people.
Thanks so much for spending this time with us today.
Keep practicing, keep speaking, and keep believing in yourself.
See you next time.